In the dimly lit streets of Hong Kong and the bright studios of Hollywood, a young boy grew into a force that would forever change martial arts and cinema. Bruce Lee, part philosopher, part fighter, and part icon, rose from humble beginnings to become a symbol of power, discipline, and human potential. Yet, behind the public image of invincibility lay a journey fraught with relentless struggle, profound self-discovery, and ultimate tragedy. His life story is more than the chronicles of fame and fighting. It is a blueprint of determination, a lesson in self-mastery, and a cautionary tale about the costs of living at the edge of human limits. To understand Bruce Lee is to understand the delicate balance between aspiration and obsession, physical prowess and philosophical insight, fame and personal vulnerability. His narrative is a tapestry of relentless motivation, timeless advice, and practices that shaped him into a legend. And as we explore his rise, his fall, and the lessons embedded within, we discover not only the man behind the myths but also the guidance that his life offers to anyone seeking excellence, resilience, and meaning. Bruce Lee was born Lee Jun Fan on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco, yet it was the streets of Hong Kong where he first encountered the challenges that would define him. A frail child in a bustling, chaotic city, he learned early that survival required agility not just of the body but of the mind. From an early age, Lee demonstrated a fascination with movement, speed, and precision. But he also possessed a mind that yearned for understanding, for purpose. For the kind of mastery that transcends technique, he watched, he studied, he imitated, and slowly, relentlessly, he carved a path for himself. His early life was not glamorous. It was a crucible of discipline, resilience, and self-discovery. Each small victory in his youth foreshadowed the meteoric rise that would eventually sweep across continents, transforming him from an obscure fighter into a global icon. Bruce Lee's journey reminds us that greatness is often forged in silence, away from the applause, in the daily grind of relentless practice and introspection. Before the world could recognize his power, he first had to recognize it in himself. At the heart of Bruce Lee's life was an extraordinary drive, a motivation so intense that it propelled him beyond the ordinary limits of body and mind. Unlike many who seek fame for its own sake, Lee was motivated by a profound internal vision, the desire to realize human potential to its fullest, to transcend boundaries, and to embody harmony between philosophy and action. He often reflected on the philosophy of self-mastery, drawing from Taoism, Zen, and his own interpretations of martial arts. "Knowing is not enough," he once said. "We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do." Every training session, every fight, every challenge he undertook was a manifestation of this principle. His motivation was not external validation, it was relentless self-improvement. Bruce Lee's rise was fueled by this principle, that excellence is forged through persistent action and unwavering commitment. When he faced rejection, ridicule, or injury, he doubled down, understanding that mastery demands sacrifice. And this internal fire is a lesson for anyone striving to reach beyond ordinary limits. Greatness requires a purpose larger than recognition, larger than comfort, larger than fear. Bruce Lee was not only a martial artist, he was a thinker. His life offers enduring lessons, applicable far beyond the dojo or movie set. These lessons, extracted from his routines, writings, and interviews, reveal the philosophy behind his physical and personal mastery. 1. Be like water. Perhaps Lee's most famous teaching is to be like water. Water adapts, flows, and overcomes obstacles not through force, but through flexibility and persistence. Life, he believed, demands adaptability. Rigidity leads to failure. Flexibility leads to success. In practice, this meant adjusting techniques, strategies, and even his philosophy to the challenges at hand. A principle equally valuable for navigating modern life: to integrate mind and body. Lee insisted that physical training and mental cultivation are inseparable. Strength without wisdom is recklessness. Knowledge without action is impotent. Meditation, reading, and philosophical reflection were as critical to his development as rigorous physical training. 3. Focus on fundamentals. In both martial arts and life, Bruce Lee emphasized mastery of fundamentals. Complexity cannot replace simplicity. True skill is built on the foundation of basic principles applied consistently. For anyone pursuing excellence, this principle encourages disciplined practice, repetition, and attention to the core of any craft. For embrace self-expression. Lee believed that martial arts and life are ultimately about self-expression. Techniques must flow naturally from one's own body and mind, not from rigid imitation. Authenticity, he taught, is the key to power and impact. 5. Pursue continuous growth. Even at the peak of his fame, Lee never stopped learning. He studied different martial arts, read philosophy, experimented with training methods, and sought to refine both skill and character. Growth, he believed, is endless, and complacency is the enemy of mastery. 6. Confront fear and adversity. Bruce Lee did not avoid challenges. He sought them. Fears were not signals to retreat, but invitations to grow. Injury, criticism, or failure were opportunities to test his limits and develop resilience. Bruce Lee's philosophy is not locked in time. It offers practical tools for anyone striving to achieve excellence, resilience, and self-expression. To apply his principles in daily life, start each day with intentional practice. Whether physical, intellectual, or emotional, dedicate time to mastering fundamentals and refining skills. Repetition and discipline build the foundation of excellence. Embrace adaptability. Approach problems like water flow around obstacles, adjust to circumstances, and maintain clarity. Flexibility, not brute force, often leads to the most effective solutions. Integrate mind and body. Balance mental reflection with active engagement. Meditation, journaling, or mindful breathing combined with physical movement creates harmony and resilience. Seek continual improvement, never settle for comfort or status. Challenge yourself regularly with new skills, new knowledge, and new experiences. Growth is a lifelong pursuit. Express your authentic self. In work, relationships, or creativity, ensure that actions flow from personal truth, not external expectations. Authenticity generates both confidence and impact. Confront fear directly, rather than avoiding discomfort. Engage with it intentionally. Fear and adversity are training grounds for resilience. Courage and self-mastery, through consistent application. Bruce Lee's habits cultivate not only skill but character, a life aligned with purpose and vitality, despite his discipline, philosophy, and extraordinary abilities. Bruce Lee's life was tragically short. Fame, stress, and the physical toll of extreme training intersected with unforeseen medical complications. At 32, he passed away suddenly, leaving the world mourning a talent that had seemed limitless. His fall reminds us that even the most disciplined life is vulnerable. Physical mastery and philosophical insight cannot shield us from fate, yet they shape how we confront it. Lee's death, while tragic, does not diminish his achievements, it amplifies their significance. Reminding us to live fully, purposefully, and with relentless commitment to growth and authenticity. Bruce Lee's story: the rise, the discipline, the philosophical insight, and the tragic fall is not just a tale of fame or martial prowess. It is a human story, one that transcends time, culture, and occupation. His life teaches us that greatness is forged through purpose, that mastery requires relentless discipline, and that true power emerges when mind, body, and spirit are unified. By studying his habits, adopting his philosophy, and embracing his lessons, we can navigate the challenges of our own lives with courage, clarity, and resilience. Bruce Lee may have departed too soon, but the life he led, the wisdom he shared, and the philosophy he embodied remain eternal. His rise and fall are not just a story of one man, they are a mirror reflecting the potential and fragility within us all. And so, as we remember Bruce Lee, we honor not only the legend of martial arts but the enduring example of a life lived fully, fiercely, and with uncompromising dedication to excellence. In his journey, we find motivation to pursue our own mastery, resilience to face our own adversities, and inspiration to leave a mark on the world that transcends the limitations of time.